Hi, I'm Steve at Boston Children's Museum. Every year, Boston Children's Museum hosts musicians from New England Philharmonic, a local orchestra here in Boston. This year, they've kindly made a series of videos for us so that we can learn about the instruments that make up an orchestra and how they work together to make music. New England Philharmonic is a great organization, and you can learn more about them and get involved by clicking on the link in the description. This video is the third in their series where we meet the brass family. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is John. Thanks for tuning in to the Meet the Instrument series with the Boston Children's Museum. This is a French horn, or you can simply call it a horn. I play in the New England Philharmonic Orchestra, which is made up of groups or families of instruments. The percussion, including drums and cymbals, the strings, the woodwinds, and the brass. The horn is made of metal, and so it's in the brass family, with the trumpets, trombones, and tuba. You may not have seen a horn before, but I bet you've heard one. I bet you recognize that from Harry Potter. Let's look at the horn. This is the bell. There's tubing here, the valves, and the mouthpiece. So I just blow into it to make a sound. I have to buzz my lips first, like this. Into the mouthpiece. And then in the horn. The very first horns weren't made of metal, they were actual animal horns, like this one. It's a ram's horn. It's used in Jewish ceremonies, and it's called a shofar. Let's see if I can play it. That's quite a sound. The very first metal horns were called hunting horns. They didn't have all this tubing, nor the valves, and they would accompany the hunt and play signals. This signal means it's time to go eat. Now remember, I'm on a horse. So that's a little bit about the horn. There's a lot more to learn. Please keep checking the Boston Children's Museum website, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channels for more fun videos and lots of fun things to do. And I hope to see you soon at a New England Philharmonic concert when we can play for you again. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, my name is Jason Huffman, and I play the trumpet, an instrument in the brass family, with the New England Philharmonic Orchestra. The trumpet is made of metal, as you can see, but more importantly, all brass instruments use the vibrations made by your lips buzzing to make musical sounds. All brass instruments are able to play different notes using what's called the overtone series, which sounds like this. By using the valves, we are able to lower each of these series and thus are able to play every note that's needed by the music that we play. We can also modify the sound of the instrument using what are called mutes. This is called a straight mute. This is a cup mute. And this is a harmon mute. I'm now going to play a short solo from Russian composer Dmitri Shostakovich's Eighth Symphony. This is a piece that you might hear an orchestra like the New England Philharmonic play at one of their concerts.
Hi friends, my name's Chris and I play trombone with the New England Philharmonic. Today I'm so excited to talk to you because I get to tell you about my instrument, my favorite instrument, the trombone. Now the trombone's a brass instrument, kind of like the trumpet or the horn or the tuba. Now what makes it a brass instrument? The first thing is it's made out of metal. Good little ding there. The other thing is that we buzz to create the sound. Now in order to buzz, you put your lips together really tight, blow air fast. It kind of makes a buzzing sound like this. Now anyone can buzz, even you can buzz. No experience required. So how about we try buzzing something together like Mary Had a Little Lamb. It's a good song. Ready? Begin. I love buzzing. It's one of my favorite things to do. And you can do it whenever you want. You can buzz along to your favorite songs on the radio or make up a song with your buzz. Anyone can do it. Now we're going to talk about the history of the trombone real quick. So the trombone's a very old instrument. It dates all the way back to the Renaissance, 400 years ago about. That's a really long time. Now back then, the trombone was used to play for kings and queens and other royalty in their courts. We would play something called a fanfare that might sound like this. The other thing that we did back in the Renaissance, and still today, is we play in churches. We played along with choirs a lot, doubling them and adding some color and softness and lyricalness. So that's the basic history of the trombone. But how does it work? You saw me moving my slide, you saw me moving my face. What was all that? So the slide works quite simply. As the slide goes out further, the notes get lower. As the slide comes in, the notes get higher. There's one other thing we get to play with called the harmonic series. Basically, we can play a lot of notes without even moving our slide. I think the low notes are kind of fun. There's another thing that we get to play with our instruments, kind of as a tag on, is we get to put different things in our bell that are mutes and change the sound. My favorite mute is the plunger mute, and you guessed it, it's just a regular old toilet plunger. You put it in the bell, changes the sound. So in orchestras, we get to play at the most exciting, boisterous, loud moments. I think it's the most fun. So we might wait 30 minutes even before we get to play, but boy, when we do play, it's so worth it. It's so fun. Now before I go, I'm going to play you something that we get to play in orchestra. Sometimes. You might recognize it. It's a pretty good tune. I love playing Darth Vader's song. Well, thank you so much for listening to me talk about the trombone. As I said, it's such a wonderful instrument. It can play loud, it can play soft, it can play high, it can play low, it can play silly, it can play serious. Such a lovely instrument.
Hi there, my name is Liam Sheehy, and I'm a member of the New England Philharmonic Orchestra. And the instrument that I play in that orchestra is the tuba. And now, the tuba is a brass instrument, which means two things. One, that it's made of metal, and two, that the way we make sound on the instrument is by buzzing our lips into a mouthpiece, and then into the instrument. Now, when I buzz into the instrument, that sound goes down this pipe here and into what we call valves. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these on mine. And when I press these down, it shoots air through these tubes here, which run all over and around the sides of the instrument. And then it makes them louder and shoots them up out the bell at the top. Now, the tuba, as you can see, is a huge instrument. It's almost as big as me, and that means that it makes the lowest notes out of any brass instrument. But the tuba also has the widest range of notes from the top to the bottom out of any brass instrument, even more than the French horn or the trombone. So it can actually play some high notes too. Now, if you go to see an orchestra like the New England Philharmonic, and the tuba starts to come in, chances are it's going to be a big, dramatic moment. It's going to be important and heavy, and the tuba will be playing loud, strong notes that are helping to boost the whole orchestra for a big, important moment. It might sound something like this. But the tuba doesn't only play big, loud notes. It can also play softer, longer, sweeter notes, like you might expect from maybe a smaller instrument. So that's a little bit about the tuba. It's my favorite instrument, and maybe it could be your favorite